Tamashii Nation 2025 is up and running over in Japan, and with that we've got our first look at a couple of new SH MonsterArts reveals. So let's take a closer look at the earliest release that we'll expect to get into our hands. We've got Godzilla 2004 Radiation Heat Ray version versus new Gotengo. That's right, we have a beam repaint of Godzilla 2004 along with a vehicle. God damn, how long has it been since we got a vehicle? It feels like it's been a really long time, man. Wow. Anyway, yeah, so here is Godzilla 2004. He's got the red spines depicting the scene where he blasts Kaiser Ghidorah up into the atmosphere, and it does look like that will be a new beam sculpt. I don't know if there's a closer. There we go. So it's a spiral effect. This down here, I can't tell if this is the old base. It looks slightly different to me, but this definitely looks like a new beam sculpt, which is cool. It's always cool to get a new beam sculpt from a company. Yeah, but here is the star of the show, at least for me. Godzilla 2004, not my favorite incarnation, though the beam version is cool. We have Gotengo with a flight stand. I am really stoked to see a vehicle in the line, right? Like, this is a way that I think that SH MonsterArts does plan to diverge even further away from what Hiya Toys is doing, and I'm really glad to see this. Honestly, this might push me over the edge to pick up the set. Even though I'm not particularly interested in this Godzilla 2004, I am very interested in vehicles in a Gotengo. So yes, I am quite stoked on this. Here he is facing down with Godzilla, even though Godzilla didn't use his what is it, radiation heat ray against, well, I guess he maybe a little bit. Anyway, we all know who he's really using this against here, and hopefully well, maybe not. It seems like it would be expensive, so we'll see. We'll see what they do here. Cool set. I'm really stoked on Gotengo. Now, 19,800 yen. Quite a bit. Quite a decent chunk of change. That's like, oh, that's close to 190 Canadian dollars. So what's that going to be? Like 150? No, like 140 US, something like that. And then once it's brought over, yeah, it's going to be close to 200 bucks US once it's brought over. Pre-orders will be opening a couple of days, and then hopefully releasing May 2026, or at least it'll probably be releasing. I mean, this is Tamashii we're talking about. Their release dates are pretty firm. Yeah, nothing else down here. There it is. I know this is not the West's favorite SH MonsterArts release, but they've reissued it a couple of times, so clearly there's an audience for it, and there's a new flavor of it, little spicy red, and you get a whole ass vehicle to go with it. Very cool. Now, this was not the only thing revealed at Tamashii Nation, although it is the only thing with a solicitation. We've also got our first look at another decisive battle set to celebrate the 30th anniversary of Godzilla vs. Destoroyah. So you have Junior here versus the Destroyer Evolution set. Now, this is a really big deal because this is the first time that the Evolution set has been reissued in a special color version or decisive battle version, right? Now, Flying Destroyer, already off the bat, it looks like he's gonna have a flight stand. I'm hoping that this is not for display purposes only, and as I'm saying this, I'm worried that this thing down here is gonna say for display purposes only. I'm sure it doesn't, though that would be quite funny, but right away that's gonna be a drastic improvement over the initial issuing of the set. The initial set didn't have this flight stand, so he's just kind of laying on the ground defeated. So this is really cool. Junior here does look to be, it's hard to tell, but his coloration here looks somewhere between the initial version and then the special color version of Junior. I held on to I had the first version of Junior. I had it all in its original packaging, its original mailer. Had that for quite some time, and then I sold it because it was going for a large amount of money. And now this set is coming out, and I am really excited actually to have this. It doesn't really look like I'm going to be getting an Ultimates version of Junior or Destroyer Evolution set from Super 7 anytime soon, so I'll be grabbing these guys to put on my shelf, and I think that they'll look pretty good next to those guys in terms of scale. Now, pricing. This Destroyer Evolution set was notorious when it came out for being pretty expensive for what it was. I took a look at the initial pricing for the Evolution set and then Junior, and if you bring both of those from their initial pricing in the days that they were released to 2025, I expect an MSRP around $200 for these guys. Hopefully it's less than that, but $200 is about what I'm expecting. Now that's going to seem quite high, you know, for what you're getting in the set, maybe in comparison to the Godzilla 2004 versus Gotengo, but I do think that there's a lot of pieces here in these fellas. A lot of moving pieces, and just hand assembling all of that. Yeah, that's gonna be a huge labor cost. So yeah, about $200 is what I'm guessing, or like what is it, 20,000 yen, something like that, for this set. Again, hopefully it's less than that, but you never know. I do expect that this will be next in the pipeline after Godzilla 2004, just because these are existing molds that they have. It seems like an easy one to pump out, and probably you want to get these out during the 30th anniversary of Godzilla vs. Destroyer. I honestly expected to see these a lot sooner in the year, but I'm thankful that they will be coming out all the same. Next up, we have what appears to be Godzilla 1975. And so I'm stoked for this because Godzilla 1975 means potentially Titanosaurus. Okay, full disclosure. Okay, I'm not particularly excited about Godzilla 1975. I'm excited about the implication. Okay, whether they go with Mega Godzilla 1975 or Titanosaurus, my preference, I'm excited for what this guy means. Now, Showa Mechagodzilla, the first one, which was 1974, had a pretty bad rap, I remember, when it came out initially. But having played and fiddled with it during San Diego Comic-Con earlier this year, I really liked the 1974 sculpt, but I'm holding out for a 1975 sculpt that's maybe even a little bit better and a little bit larger. So, yeah, 1975 Godzilla, he's cool, he's neat. I'm sure that he'll sell well. If the 1972 Godzilla is anything to go off of, I'm sure that this is going to be a banger of a release, but I'm more so excited for what is going to come afterward. And then finally, for preview night of Tamashii Nation 2025, we have the Odo Island Godzilla from Godzilla -1. This guy looks super fierce. He looks, actually, so like I have the Ichiban show right over here, and he looks, dare I say, identical to that, except he's articulated, obviously. Again, there's a little tail clamp over here. I'm guessing that's going to be part of the release. I mean, Godzilla here doesn't have a clamp, presumably because he doesn't need one, but Odo Island over here does appear to have a clamp. I do expect he'll be a similar size to the Ichiban show, because I don't think you can scale this guy to their existing -1 figure. He would be extremely small. So I expect him to be similar to the Ichiban show, and maybe even to, let's say, the size difference in the movie monster series between Godzilla -1 and his Odo Island Goji form. So that's kind of what I'm expecting here. But he looks great. I feel like all of us have been waiting to see who's going to come out first with an articulated Odo Island Goji. And here we go. Tamashii Nations appears to be coming out of the gate. So hopefully this guy is not too expensive. Like... I'd love to think that this is not going to be a web exclusive, but I'm sure Bandai will find some reasoning to justify, say, oh no, actually we're going to make it a web exclusive because we don't think it'll be too popular or whatever. So if I had to rough out like a guess, I'm going to guess, yeah, 10,000 yen. That's going to be my guess. 10,000 yen for this guy. Hopefully it's a little bit less, but I think realistically we're looking at 10,000 yen. So that's it. Odo Island Goji, Godzilla 1975, I think, Destroyer Evolution Set versus Godzilla Jr., and then Godzilla 2004 Radiation Heat Ray version versus Gotengo. That's quite a bit. That is quite a bit to come out of Tamashii Nation 2025. Still no Hungarian Horntail for the Harry Potter fans, but hey, you can't win them all. What can you do? So that's it. I'm mostly excited for Gotengo and the evolution set 1975. I'm excited about what might come after that. And then with Oto Island Goji, yeah, that's pretty cool. I do have the Ichiban show, which looks great, so we'll see. Depending on the price, I might grab that one. So that's gonna be it for me, but I'm curious to hear from you. What are your thoughts on the reveals from Tamashii Nation 2025? Are they all skips? Are they all buys? You let me know. And until next time, I'll talk to you again soon, folks. Bye-bye.